Good morning, YouTuber. So now I will talk about the requirements for building and fencing permit. So the first thing that you need to do is the tax clearance correct year. So in this one, you need to go to the city hall to have a original copy. And then after that, you will have photocopy for this for 4 copies. So the second one is the tax declaration latest revised copy. So this one is for the previous owner if he or she paid the tax this year. And you need the original copy for this and then photocopy for 4 copies. The third one is land title or deed of sale. This one is really important. You cannot build a building or fencing permit if you don't have this deed of sale. So you need to go to the attorney to notarize this one or to settle about this land that you buy to someone else.
And once you've got this deed of sale, you need every sibling who's inherited this piece of land to sign it, because if not, there will be problems later.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
So the fourth one is large sketch plan. So before anything else, the first thing that you need to do is to sketch the land if it is correct square meter or not.
Yeah. So we got this land surveyed by, he's a recommended surveyor around the Bogo area. What was his name?
Rodriguez
Yeah,
Surveying
that's it.
Company.
Yeah. Okay. And it costs a bit of money, but it's for your interest as only that you're going to get this area of land that you're purchasing. It's the right size in the right place, and you need that anyway to submit it to the city hall when you're going to build on it.
Okay, the first one is barangay clearance. So for the building permit or for the fencing permit, you need this original copy. And then the sixth one is Sidula, lot owner or for the previous owner and for you who is the one who will buy that land. Or we could say that Philippine Community Tax Certificate. That's the another meaning of Sidula. The seventh one is affidavit of ownership. So this
That was
one,
after David, by the way. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
so this one you need to notarize this with the attorney. And after you notarize this one, you need to have 4 copies. After that, yes, you need to pass this in the city hall.
Okay. So that is a basic sort of illustration of what you need to do, but there are so many permits, and I would highly recommend if anybody is going to build anything in the Philippines, because I've walked into the barangay hall, not the barangay hall, the city hall. As soon as they see me, all they see is euros, pound signs, or dollars, and the prices just fluctuate so much. So it's a bit like the fencing permit. Now, just remember, if you're going to build in the near future, there is a new rule, and I'm not sure if it's everywhere, but it's in Cebu that there is a 5 meter rule stand off from the road now. So that's caused a few problems with parking and a drive and everything else. So we've had to change the plan a little bit. But just remember that, because we've had a few problems. Um, with the barangay hall. They're sticking to their guns. They're not going to move, and they've said, look, because there's a road going through this piece of land, and we were offering to move it, but they just they're not interested. Anyway, there are other things. Like Renalyn said, the primary building permit is very important. You need an electrical permit, a sanitary permit, You need your structural plans need to be drawn professionally. There's no good going in there with some sketches because they just won't take much notice of that. You need your architect to go to the city hall and present your plan. Well, he will present it, not you, and make a good reason why you're putting it on this land. Because if it's agricultural, you might have problems, and they might be awkward. So you're better off paying an architect to, to get your permits. And another thing is the gang of guys. This architect has got a company, he's got a good gang of guys. They're flexible, he can move them about because he has got another project going. So, you're not if there's nothing for them to do for 2 days, you can find them something else to do somewhere else, and then bring them back. You know, and another thing is fixed. You need a fixed cost price. Uh, it's no good going and getting different contractors, different buildings, guys coming along and offering you their skills, and you've got to manage those guys. I can't imagine any Western guy trying to manage the Filipino builders. They have breaks. If you haven't got your eye on the ball, they will sit down. They will go slow. It's just their culture. So the architect will have to show them a bill of materials uh, and all the costs. He'll have to show the city hall all of that. They will not give you this permit otherwise. So, and we've got the permits down here. The payments. The last payment is here. You need proof of payment, and the first. This is my contract here, and I've had it notarized as well. We've had this notarized by an attorney, so he's got to stick to his promise and build this within 180 days. Otherwise, I'm not saying there's going to be any penalties, but he's under the cosh a little bit. And basically, we've got a list of all the materials. This isn't just the shell and the roof and the finishing of the plaster. This is everything down to the kitchen sink, really. But this is going in stages, and basically we're starting off with a 6-month plan to get the shell up. The window frames are quite accurately made because we're getting ready-made windows put in. We're not going to get a carpenter to make anything. And you've really, really got to think about when you're going to build something. Just think that the ethics here at us is slightly different.
Aside, so another thing is also the fire clearance. So there are someone will visit in the site to know if your place is safe to live for the fire. And then also, if you want to build a house, you should be hands on or go to the site 3 or 4 times a week to know that the if they build it strong or they have a solid foundation.
Yeah, it's important that you've got to keep your eye on this physically. Not physically, but keep your eyes open. The cement mix. Make sure they're doing it properly. And especially the rebar is highly important. You want to make sure it's all going in there properly as per drawing. If you've got your eye off the ball, you don't know what's going in those holes. I'm not saying every Filipino builder's like it, but it does happen in Asia. You only have to look in places like, I think it was Thailand or Korea or something like that. Buildings coming down where the rebar was not to spec, and the concrete mix, it was so sandy, it was ridiculous. Anyway, I'm not sure whether there's anything else to say.
But the reaper, you can suggest them to the rebar
Yeah.
that we have.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
we need to
We've upgraded the rebar on the structure because this area has had an earthquake, and we will put some footage up of some damage around here. But basically, the Jolly B got flattened. But when I looked at the build there, the rebar was only about 12 millimeters in diameter. You know, so what we've done is we've upgraded the rebar to 20 diameter. And where this land is being built, where this house is being built, sorry, the ground is solid. But even so, if you've got an earthquake, it doesn't matter how solid it is. If it actually moves or cracks, you're going to be in trouble. So, but you know, I mean, build it as strong as you can within your budget. I mean, I paid I think 90,000 pesos more for this upgrade, and I think it's well worth it. It's just for peace of mind, really, at the end of the day.
I know. Aside from that, we need a good reputation contractor to be open-minded to our plan and suggestion so that
Yeah, I do think that you need a gang of guys that are going to get on quite well together as well. Because, you know, if you get, you know, two or three, and then you get another two to three guys, you know, doing another little project, you might find that they clash, and then you got problems. And I can't imagine staffing problems in the Philippines. What do? You ask them to leave, you know, and then you've got a bad atmosphere everywhere. I mean, this has been so hassle free. I mean, the architect, you know, he's been very good. He's been very helpful. Um, we haven't had any problems at all. Um, the only problem we have got is basically there's the water supply is nil. We're using a truck to go down and fill containers up down the bottom of the hill at a well. But that's going to change. You're probably seeing it in the next videos as getting a contractor in and drilling for. We've actually had a survey and we found water on this land, so which is really good news. It's an underground stream. That's what he reckons anyway, and it's clean. You know, I mean, we're only taking his word for it, but he's got all the kit, you know, that you can think of. But hopefully, within the next month, we'll have water. We won't have this problem. But like I'm saying, I can't emphasize it more. If you're going to do any building out here, just get an architect. You know, just build it to your own means. I mean, you know, we're building this. You know, it's a long term thing. You know, when I look at guys and they're staying in Cebu City and they're staying in condos, I couldn't think of anything worse. But that's their choice. But you know, they're paying 30,000 a month with their cost of electric because they've got aircon running all the time. I'm going to have solar, you know, and it's going to be self-sufficient. I know the cost is going to be, you know, it's going to be quite high, but I've worked it out that if you stay, you know, if I keep this house or we keep this house, say, for 10 to 15 years, it's going to pay for itself, you know, and the last so many years of my life, it would be free living, hopefully. Well, not so much free, but it'd be a lot cheaper than renting. Rent that goes up every year as well. So you've got to take that into consideration. What do you think?
yes, that's true.
Yeah, that's true. That was her
So
opinion. Oh,
please,
there we go. Yeah, go on then.
so thank you for watching. I hope you learned something in our video. Please like and subscribe.
Yeah, and we'll be putting footage up, you know, of the problems we got with the water, and you know, we're going to do some stages on the build. This is just like an introduction thing of what you need when you're thinking of building. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.
Bye.